Uh, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start with this news report, and then I'm gonna actually read a thorough article. It's not super duper long, um, but it seems like Wayne, Lil Wayne, that is, Chris Breezy, and Marshmello, the DJ Marshmello. Um, they feds probably they getting investigated. Okay, at least let's just look at it, and then I'm gonna read the article that actually came out before, you know, first thing. And it's man, and that's what I was saying, yo. I'm glad I ain't do that PPP shit. You feel me? Loco, what's the deal? What's the deal? That's the PPP and the SBA, my nigga. Like, salute, top of it. Y'all smash them lights when y'all come in. Happy Friday to everybody. Good morning, good afternoon to those on the East Coast, and whatever. Even if it's night, wherever you if you cross seas. Shout out to Brazil, Armenia. We had so many different countries last night on the kick, and it's been crazy, man. And then, man, it's just been a crazy game. Sweden, everybody that pulled up. Let's look.
Tonight, big names in entertainment like Lil Wayne, DJ Marshmello, and Chris Brown facing scrutiny for spending millions in COVID relief money on themselves, according to an in-depth report by Business Insider, which reviewed accounting documents and filings with the Small Business Administration, which administered the loans. NBC News has not seen the documents, but the reporting says the celebs were awarded money from the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant.
It was, talked about as something that would help, the local institution concert venue, the middle class stagehand, the small time performing artist who's, just getting their start.
But in the case of A-list star Lil Wayne, Business Insider reviewed documents showing the rapper received $8.9 million in relief funds, spending $1.3 million on private jets, another $460,000 going to clothes, including Balenciaga and Gucci. After canceling a New Year's Eve show in 2021 due to weather conditions, Business Insider says the rapper apparently partied at a nightclub, but still billed taxpayers nearly $88,000 for the concert that never happened. Chris Brown and his companies receiving $10 million, according to the article, including thousands for his birthday party's LED dance floor, hookah and bottle service, nitrogen ice cream, and
even some burn holes in the rental couches. Certainly not what I think the members of Congress had in mind when they approved this money.
The Business Insider reporting going on to say that an almost $10 million grant to superstar DJ Marshmello's company went straight into his pocket. The musicians, whose tour revenues declined steeply during the pandemic, were likely eligible for the grants, which were awarded based solely on revenue, according to the SBA.
It would not be surprising if this was entirely legal, and it still seems to violate the spirit of what these programs were really targeted at.
DJ Marshmello, Lil Wayne, and Chris Brown did not immediately respond to NBC News' request for comment and did not provide comments to Business Insider. This wasn't the only pandemic-era relief program facing scrutiny, as many became a target for fraud. Experts estimating the Paycheck Protection Program meant to help small businesses keep up with payroll was robbed of at least $80 billion.
I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Certainly the program design left itself susceptible to this poor targeting and also to the fraud.
Some experts say celebrity spending like this, even if it didn't violate any laws, could encourage others to take advantage of these programs.
And when you see people getting this money who didn't really need it, you could see where people kind of use that to internalize and to justify maybe kind of pushing the bounds of applying for these things themselves. So I think there's real cost to high-profile people abusing these programs.
Okay, with that, Valerie Castro joins us now. So, Valerie, the expert in your piece kind of points out nothing illegal was apparently done here, but will those artists have to pay that money back? And why, if you could walk our viewers through, are we finding this out right now?
So keep in mind, these programs were rushed out at a time when people were in desperate need of help. It was the pandemic. Things were changing day by day. Unfortunately, it seems as though some people found those loopholes. It doesn't mean that they did anything illegal, but it may not have been in the spirit of what those programs were designed for. So they probably won't have to pay any of that money back. We're still hearing about it because the government is still getting tips about cases where fraudulent activity was suspected.
All right, Valerie Castro.
Jesus. So they trying to, what I'm trying to figure out is why, if they saying, if the feds are saying, if the investigators and the feds are saying, they might not be doing it illegal, why they bring it up? Look, off the rip, and I'm about to read this article. Off the rip, I'm thinking. I don't want to say Trump, but I'm not gotta say Trump because Trump was the one that was running the country. That nigga built you up to break niggas down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna say everybody, was a lot of people getting off with that bread, but who would have thought it'd be, multi-millionaires? But I mean, we was in pandemic. I don't know. I got a bad feeling 'cause they even make a big deal. And I'm gonna read this article and we're gonna run through it and then we're gonna move on. Hit them likes when y'all come in. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Share the live, hit the likes. You feel me? Uh, Let's read this article. This is the initial article that how you call it? The whistleblower. It's by Business Insider. The title is it came out 2 days ago as well. I was supposed to cover this 2 days ago, but I just be a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of forgot to keep it 100. But hey, we here now. You know what I'm saying? Um, So it says, rich musicians build American taxpayers for luxury hotels, shopping sprees, and $1 million businesses. So let's read the article. That happened. Damn, did y'all hear anything? It just went muted by itself? All right, well, I'm not about to reread any of that because y'all heard what they said basically, but I'm just gonna read the rest of this. On New Year's Eve 2021, he, who is Lil Wayne, was scheduled to perform at a concert in Coachella, California. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that happens now. I think it's time for a new mic, man. If I want to support the movement, man, hit the cash out. I think it's time for a new mic because that shit happened last night too. Um, but shortly before his set was scheduled to start, concert type employee announced that the rapper would be unable to perform because of the wind and the flights. The crowd booed. Wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour were reported in Southern California that night. Data from flight radar indicates 4 other private jets flew the exact route Lil Wayne was scheduled to fly. Instead, posts on Instagram suggest he partied that night at a club on Sunset Boulevard with the rapper 2 Chainz. For expenses related to the concert he never performed, Lil Wayne billed taxpayers nearly $88,000. So they even have a breakdown of how exactly he spent the bread, right? He settled a debt owed to his ex-manager Cortez Bryant, which he gave his ex-manager 2.1 million. Commissions to Mac Main, his other manager. He gave Mac Main 1.7 million. Private jets, he spent 1.3 million on private jets. He spent $590,000 on his lawyer. He spent $589,000 on his accountant. Smash them likes when y'all get in here. This is crazy. Um, his clothes, he spent $528,000 on his clothes. This is Lil Wayne. We about to get to Chris Brown and Marshmello next, and then we got to talk about this Drewski versus Fresh and Fit, and then we're gonna talk about this TikTok thing that's going on. This ban that's about to happen. It's potentially about to change a lot for a lot of content creators and people that's making money off TikTok. Um, and he also settled a debt with a former accountant. He gave his former accountant 300K. A mystery woman, he gave her 14.9K, and then everything else he spent 1.3 million. Lil Wayne's publicist didn't respond to numerous requests for comment on detailed questions reached by text. Lil Wayne made a sexually explicit overture to a reporter and did not respond to questions. He probably said, suck my, that's what I'm guessing, a sexually explicit overture. I'm not sure what overture means, but I know he made a jet like a, you know what I mean? He probably said, kiss my ass or SMD or something like that, right? The money came from a program called Shuttered Venue Operations Grant, signed into law by Trump in 2020 and championed by lawmakers, including Senator Chuck Schumer. It was established as a lifeline for struggling independent ventures and arts groups during the pandemic. The pop stars used the program as a piggy bank to keep the party going, reporting by Business Insider. It's crazy. And this is Business Insider that blowing the whistle on this. They low key signaling the feds. That's what I'm saying. The star spending took place against a backdrop of massive pandemic relief fraud, the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. That's why I said, yo, I'm glad that I did not do. I tried to do that PPP shit once. I had a little something that I can, you know what I'm saying, but it didn't go for me. So I ain't tried again. I tried to do the SBA, it didn't work. So I said, fuck that shit. Which, because I'm not greedy anyway. If the shit ain't working, I took it as a sign. And I'm like, and after a while, I started seeing. I was like, I'm, good. I can sleep comfortable knowing I ain't got to worry about nobody coming for me. You know what I'm saying? And economic injury disaster loans gave out as much as 200 billion in suspected false claims, losses that combined with false unemployment benefit claims amount to what the FBI has called the largest fraud in history, compared with those better known programs. The Shutter Venue Operations Grant had relatively strict eligibility requirements. Still, accounting firms and money managers soon realized their stadium filling musician clients might be eligible for grant money via their loan out companies, corporate entities used to handle the business of touring. Um, Grants awarded to the clients of one high-powered entertainment business management firm, NKSFB, totaled at least 270 million. By previously reported, NKSFB itself collected more than $7 million by helping its clients obtain these grants. NKSFB's manager partner, Mickey Siegel, didn't respond to requests for comment. The firm's lawyer, Brian Friedman, said NKSFB doesn't comment on his clients' finances, which is, what, you think they're going to say something? Like, Grantees received up to $10 million that they could spend on certain quote unquote ordinary and necessary expenses for their entertainment businesses. They had to make a good faith statement to the SBA, to the Small Business Administration, which oversaw the program, that the grant was necessary to support the loan out company's quote unquote ongoing operations, and show that the company's revenue had fallen by at least 25% between one quarter of 2019 and the same quarter of 2020. And in a statement, the SBA said it followed the law, but the law directed the SBA to examine revenue, not assets. Musicians with huge bank accounts and multiple mansions were still eligible for the awards as long as their loan out company's revenue had declined. Thousands of pages of accounting documents reviewed by Business Insider, who wrote this article, revealed for the first time how some wealthy musicians, including Chris Brown and DJ Marshmello and members of Alice in Chains, which is a rock group, spent grants they received through the program. Documents detail records explaining how celebrity musicians spent the grants, as well as correspondence between their accountants. So they spoke with the accountants of these artists. I bet you the accountants ain't about to go to jail for shit. They hear people talking about this shit. They probably knew. Oh yeah, it's kind of like if something happens, and Facebook and Instagram, like say if somebody get killed behind some shit on Facebook and Instagram through a drug deal going bad, it's like the Casanova thing. They gonna turn over them fucking records. If the motherfucking if the feds or somebody say, hey, somebody got killed and we want the inbox, Facebook, Instagram, and whatever else, they gonna turn that shit over without. The only people that don't turn over nothing is Apple. That's the only company that I know of. But they're not really a social, you know what I'm saying? Salute, Cronin. Shout out to Cronin TV. All right. Thousand hold on, I'm sorry. The documents include detailed records explaining how celebrity musicians spent their grants, as well as, okay, I said that, right. Okay, here we go. They reveal how artists directed millions in taxpayer funds not toward touring crew members, but instead toward their own bank accounts, luxury purposes, and entertainment expenses, often while sitting on substantial wealth from their other business ventures. So they basically saying they was taking money while making money, if that makes sense to you. Um, One top government accountability expert said some of the spending business insiders identified was questionable, but stopped short of saying it was fraudulent. Quote unquote, at a minimum, it smells, said David Walker, former Comptroller General of the United States. Quote unquote. Whether it's legal or not, it's up to a lawyer or ultimately to a court, but it sure smells. Smells mean some smell fishy, some don't, ain't right. The SBA said it implemented industry-leading fraud controls, quote unquote. Senator Gary Peters, the chair of the Committee of Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs, said celebrity musicians used the shuttered venue grants was, quote unquote, an abuse of federal resources. There go that federal word again. Business Insider's findings, he added, demonstrate, quote unquote, the need for continued oversight of pandemic relief programs. Um, Pandemic relief was intended to help businesses and workers in need, the senator said, quote unquote, not super wealthy celebrities. Now, we're going to get into this thing they titled an $80,000 birthday party. Top of the top, man. Y'all smash them likes when y'all get in here too, man. Shout out there in the chat. Um, Lil Wayne wasn't the only one to engage in questionable grant spending. Chris Brown spent his grant on a big paycheck and a big party. Of the $10 million grant Brown's company CBE Torn received, $5.1 million went to Brown personally. He also billed taxpayers nearly $80,000 for his 33rd birthday. Blowout, held in a Lux LA event space, featured a $3,600 LED dance floor and quote unquote atmosphere models, new women in body paint who cost $2,100. According to expense reports in a blog post by the party planner, the bill included more than $29,000 for hookahs, bottle service, and quote unquote nitrogen ice cream. I don't know what the fuck that is. Like that don't even sound like that's something that I wanted. Nitrogen ice cream. What the fuck? Like that sounds like some shit that potentially could be laced with fentanyl. I'm just saying. Since then, um, and damages involving burn holes and rented couches. While the grant was meant to support live entertainment, Brown also charged $24,000 to the grant for the cost of driving his tour bus from the U.S. to Tulum, Mexico, and back in the fall of 2020 during a month-long stay for him and his entourage in the resort town where he did not perform. He spent several days in Tulum filming a video with Jack Harlow for a joint track, but it's not clear if the rest of the trip was for business or pleasure. More than $179,000, the grant went toward a celebrity basketball tournament broadcast on YouTube, which is, y'all know what tournament that is? What's that tournament? The TBE with all the celebrities. I bet you that's the tournament because that's they show it on fucking YouTube. We have an NLE Chopper. The TCE is like a league. And Chris Brown was in that fucking league. 21 Savage was in that league. It was a 2 Chainz was in that league. It was a bunch of people playing. So Chris Brown must have he must have been like went half on that shit or like I didn't know that. I thought that was like I didn't know where that came from. Um, including a $20,000 payment to the Indianapolis Colts tight end Mo Alley Cox, who played on Brown's basketball team. So he paid niggas with the PPP and the SBA money to play for the basketball team. See? Hey man, listen. Paper trail's a motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad that I did not get involved with that PPP and SBA shit. You know what I'm saying? Because look at this now. Trump gave that shit to motherfuckers, and motherfuckers did finessing. Nigga. But now it's like he built motherfuckers up to break you down. Like, you know what I mean? Because he was the one that okayed that. You feel me? And now he back. He like, because the economy is messed up now. Inflation, off-brand orange juice is $5. Like the Great Value orange juice, it's $5. That shit used to be $3.49 or $2.40. Like, All right, so this is how Chris Brown spent his money. He gave himself 5.1 million. He paid insurance 1.3 million. His manager got $823,000. And accountants got $556,000. Lawyers got $498,000. His crew payroll was $383,000. The basketball tournament was $179,000. His birthday party was $79,000, and everything else was $1 million. Brown and his attorneys and managers did not respond to requests for comment. Representatives for Harlow and Ali Cox also didn't respond. Like they're not going to say nothing. What they going to Business Insider? They messy for making this thing because they went and hired they. But as I said, when people come knocking, them accountants and them people that be signing them checks, like the people, they gonna snitch because they not about to go down for this shit. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna okay it. They're gonna help you finesse the money, but they gonna tell if the people come asking them, hey, anybody, the Feds, Rolling Stone magazine, Business Insider, Forbes, they're gonna tell it all. They ain't about to lose their damn what you call it, like their certification to be. You know what I mean? Like if it's them or the client, it's gonna be the client. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Others also paid themselves, taking advantage of an SVOG spending category that Business Insider drew attention to last night, quote unquote, owner compensation. The SBA guidance said artists could use grants paid to their loan out company to pay themselves as long as the check was no bigger than it was in 2019. Now, here we go to Marshmello, the DJ Marshmello, EDM guy. Marshmello, whose real name is Christopher Comstock, received a $9.9 million grant more than a year later when the SBA asked for proof of where it went. His business manager, Steve McCauley of NKSFB, responded by saying all the money went to his business manager snitched on him, bro. When this Business Insider magazine or whoever I guess magazine company or article company they told them that Marshmello, the whole 9.9 went to him. They ain't even say we don't know. Or they see that. Listen, take heed, because motherfuckers will sacrifice you. They'll help you do the dirt, and they will sacrifice you. That's on the low level and on the big level. Look, these are Marshmallow's a major artist. Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, these are major artists, bro. Let's go down. Quote unquote, because the beneficiary received 2019 officer draws slash salary from 365 Touring International Incorporated in excess of the SVOG grant award, we therefore expensed the entire grant balance to payroll, McCulley wrote in an April 2023 letter seen by Business Insider. In other words, because Comstock, which is Marshmallow, made more than 9.9 million from touring in 2019, he was able to award himself the entire grant. In doing so, Comstock paid himself more than any other musician who received grant money. Comstock's publicist and his manager didn't reply to requests for See, the publicist and the manager, they not gonna snitch. Some accountants and them business managers, they don't want no parts of that shit. They don't want. They got to go work. They got other business and other people they can do. They don't got to just work for you rapping or me. They don't. You know what I'm saying? It's about the money, and they ain't about to sacrifice their shit. They gonna snitch on you. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. That's fucked up. That's the way it goes. Artists often paid themselves far more than they pay anyone else involved in putting on their live shows. Steve Aoki, wow, they even bringing up Steve Aoki. Loan out company, DJ Kid Millionaire Touring, used $2.4 million in grant money on payroll costs, of which 1.9 million was officer pay. Aoki is the company's only officer. So he's the only officer that works. So he's the only one that gets paid and does the work. Which, I mean, I ain't knocking him, you know what I mean? But you know what that mean? I mean, he'll get all the bread. So Aoki's publicist didn't respond to requests for the comment. Three of the four members of the rock band Shinedown split at least $2.5 million of their $8.3 million grant. On top of those distributions, Shinedown's four members paid themselves more than $100,000 each out of the roughly $1.2 million of the grant that was allocated to payroll. The band's 15 touring production workers, meanwhile, received a combined $650,000. So 15 people got way less than a couple people got. You know what I'm saying? Of grant money. Less than a single member of the band got. Publicists for the band didn't respond to requests to comment. Records seen by Business Insider show that a good chunk of the $7.7 million grant. Oh my God, they even talking about Ray Shrimmer. That's crazy. Now, Sway Lee, shout out Sway Lee. That's a cool nigga. I met that nigga too. I met Marshmallow before too, and Steve Aoki. Um, so they says uh, $7.7 million to Shrimp Touring, the loan out company for the hip hop duo Ray Shrimmer, was paid to the rappers Slim Jimmy and Sway Lee. These niggas is snitching, boy. These Business Insider, sheesh, and the managers, the business accountants, and all that, whose real names are Quill Brown and Khalif Brown. The duo's manager, lawyer, and publicist didn't respond for comment. On March 23rd, 2022, records show that the Alice in Chains singer and guitarist Jerry Cantrell took in $1.4 million as an SVOG distribution. The band's drummer Sean Kinney received the same amount, and the bassist Mike Inez booked half the sum, $682,000. In all, $3.4 million of the $4.1 million the grant allowed it for payroll went to three musicians at the top. Like other grant applicants, AIC Entertainment, the three band members' touring businesses, had to tell the government only that the money was quote unquote necessary. The month before they took their grant payments, the band members recorded about $48 million in income from selling the copyrights on their catalog. They made hundreds of thousands of dollars more from merchandise sales and other profit distributions in 2022. The band spent money to pay its staff. It spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to sound equipment rental firms, videographers, managers. But the curious nature of working in the live entertainment business didn't change for some of his employees. Scott Dasher, I don't even know how to say his name, Dasherodian, guitar tech and tour photographer who had worked with the band for years, received cancer diagnosis They even bringing up niggas. They trying to somebody made somebody mad to try to out these niggas. This can listen. Say what you want, but the feds will pick this bitch up if they. Because this is, you know what I mean. Got I'm sorry, where we at? Ban which records show did not spend grant money on benefits like health insurance, circulated a GoFundMe page. So one of the band members got cancer, and instead of using the money to help pay for his cancer, they just did a GoFundMe. That's what they basically saying. He has no health insurance, quote unquote, and cannot work to pay his bills, quote unquote, the page said. The band's lead singer said on Facebook that Alice in Chains helped out behind the scenes, but a person familiar with the situation said that Dasherin didn't get much, if any, money from the band during the pandemic, and that after his diagnosis, the band contacted Dasherin with a charity that helps with medical bills. Damn. So and then they just yo, this is nasty work. Whoever this Business Insider people are, and he died shortly thereafter. That guy, Alice in Chains publicist and manager did not respond to requests. Um, yeah, we're not about to read this whole thing. That's enough. They went crazy on this article. So, oh man, this ain't good. This is not good, man. And it's so crazy because it's like y'all niggas, y'all let motherfuckers like I don't want to see this shit happen to nobody. Like, don't try to out people, even if you're just outing them and making them look bad, or even if they trying to blow the whistle to the feds. Y'all, Trump and the government, y'all created these programs. Y'all didn't tighten up how to do these programs. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, it ain't like they went out their way to finesse. Y'all presented this shit. If it was loopholes, it was loopholes. I mean, it was the middle of the pandemic. Nobody thought that we was gonna survive. The Rona was going on. I thought it would be personally. I thought it was the end of the world. I thought it was over with. I was like, damn. So I'm not even gonna be able to be like 30 some, 40 some years old. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna die before I can even get up. You know? And Lord, thank God that we still here. But this is nasty work. This is some of the nastiest of work I've seen. Hmm. Sheesh, man. Yeah, you remember that league, right? It was called like the TCE or some shit, right? Let me see what it was called. Um, enter, let's see, entertainment, entertain, basketball, basketball league. What was the name of it? That was actually a good show. It was like the TCE or the TBG. It had all the big artists. It had football players in there. Hold on, I'm gonna put Chris Brown. What was the name of that shit? Then we're gonna move on to Myron and Fresh and Fit, the TCL, and that was on Revolt TV. Look, Party, Chris Brown right there. Chris Brown versus NLE Chopper. So Chris Brown was, I guess, CEO of this or originator of this. Look, Chris Brown versus Tiger. This shit was getting hell of. This was the shit, bro. We was look YK Osiris. Chris Brown is on like every thumbnail too, ain't that something? So yeah, I didn't even realize that. I thought it was just look Chris Brown versus G Herbo, 3-point shootout. Chris Brown versus Jason Derulo, season 2. Quavo versus Chris Brown. Sway Lee versus Lil Mosey. You dig?